Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special bonus reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Taurus, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or making a donation, you can find the information for that in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram, and official TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. So, Taurus, I hope that you're doing well. These readings are all about what your ancestors want to communicate to you. And they're sparked by this beautiful crystal. This is a Mookite tower, Mookite. It's a beautiful crystal for grounding and for family lineage healing. And I was intuitively drawn to it. I have lots of crystals, and I like to keep crystals on my desk while I read so that I can kind of, tap into the energies a little bit. And this one really spoke to me. I haven't used it in a while. It sits on the dresser behind me, but it's been really calling to me. These kind of layers of experience and history within, and it doesn't have to be about your earth family, although it could be, right? That as light workers, if you identify as a light worker, we're here to heal humanity in many ways. But it can also be about like the messages that come from your cosmic family, your starseed family, where you fall in the story, in Spirit's story. It's really beautiful. It's a very dense crystal. Like, it's a very dense feeling to it. So there's like the weight of it. The weight of something is really important for your reading. I'm going to be using 3 decks for your reading today. The Shaman's Dream Oracle for the overall energy. The Radiant Wilds Tarot for your tarot reading. And a card of advice from Wisdom of the Oracle. Cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. The ancestors, what messages do you have for Taurus, please? Number 21, which corresponds to the World card in the major arcana of the tarot. The World card is all about chapters closing and new chapters opening. First breath, beginner's mind. First breath, beginner's mind, right? We're walking into a new chapter of something. It also reminds me of a lot of page energy. The pages in the tarot, all about beginner's mind. That's crazy. These are all kind of like planetary bodies. This right here is like a version of Jupiter, something like it, and it reminds me of Charoite crystal. See how they kind of look similar? Charoite. I'm going to tell you, it's not a coincidence because I'm wearing, it's maybe hard to tell on camera, but this is purple. This shirt is purple. And I saw a fellow earth sign today, a friend who's a Capricorn, and Spirit, I was compelled to give her a lepidolite crystal, which is purple. And in the Virgo reading I just did, they got a very purple themed energy, a card that was very purple. And here it is again. Thank you, Spirit. There's something to it. You might be drawn to the color purple. You might be working with the violet flame energy. The Charoite crystal is all about accessing the violet flame. It's also a crystal in twin flame energy, the violet flame. Saint Germain, it could be a saint that you pray to. Saint Germain. There's a liquor liqueur called Saint Germain. That could be something that's your favorite. The Sherwood crystal, though, is all about psychic energy. It's one of my favorite crystals, and I have a ton of it. It's very expensive, but I use it specifically to access the violet flame. It's just this kind of interdimensional space. There's a lot cooking and a lot brewing with you, Taurus. You're a very grounded sign, but there's a part of you, I think, that feels like you want to start a new chapter where you're kind of pushing your own boundaries, your own the limits that you put on your own consciousness. You're trying to push yourself to reach further. But you could be just starting out. You don't really know where to look exactly because you never really had to deal with the esoteric, deal with the spiritual. Maybe that was never a thing for you until now. Now you're starting to explore it. 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and at the end we'll get a card from Wisdom of the Oracle. Advice from Spirit. It's a lot. That purple energy is very relevant because, you know, Spirit gives me messages through the Rolodex in my mind, right? My level of experience and bringing up my experiences allows me to communicate to you the messages that they have. And whenever the color purple comes up, I think of my higher self, my soul in the 5D, who once told me her name was Lavender. So whenever I think of purple, I think of my higher self, which makes me think that your higher self is trying to speak to you. It's calling out to you. So right off the bat, you have some tremendous sun energies in your reading. Wow. Okay. In the past energy, 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. It's funny because when I was during the pre-shuffling, I thought about the 8 of Pentacles. Probably because there was something related to my job that was on my mind, because the 8 of Pentacles can talk about a workplace scenario. And so while I was cleaning up the energy on my desk, I was burning some Palo Santo, I was shuffling the deck, I thought about the 8 of Pentacles, and here it is. 8 of Pentacles talks about where we've invested the majority of our effort, energy, time, and resources. That's why a lot of the times it can refer to a workplace. So take it as it resonates, but the past energy is talking about something where you were really devoting your time, really paying attention details too. You can see here she's like painting. She's painted all of these already. She's painting something else. You know what these remind me of? 2 things. Madeleine cookies, those French cookies, and also fingerprints. Fingerprints. So take it as it resonates. Whenever I think of them, I hope that all of you have had the pleasure of trying a Madeleine cookie. I'm getting a very, very specific example, a specific reference. So I'm going to try and tap into that. So there is a very famous French author, Marcel Proust. Marcel Proust. And for some reason, oh, okay, got it. Thank you, Spirit. One of his, I guess his like magnum opus, like his greatest work, was a novel called Swan's Way. Swan's Way. I read this, I don't think I finished the book, but I started reading it in college. There's a very famous scene in Swan's Way where the main character is talking about the Madeleine cookie. I feel like he describes a Madeleine cookie in detail for like a couple pages, but it's almost like he took a bite of this buttery, dense, rich cookie, soft. It's like bouncy, spongy. He took a bite into this cookie and he was immediately transported. The taste of it transported him back to a memory with either his aunt or his grandmother, his mom, or something, some divine feminine in his life, of being with that person, the love that he had for that person. And maybe I kind of, it's been a long time since I've read it, but it's like he was in their kitchen again, smelling this smell of these cookies, dipping the cookie into some tea. It's this sense of how connected we are to our memories when something triggers it. So there's something here, there's something to it. Now, your name could be Marcel, you could be French, you could speak French, you could be connected to some kind of French ancestry. You could be a baker, a pastry chef. You could love that book, I don't know. Or you could be thinking about how profound it is to listen to a piece of music, eat a certain food, and be transported back just to your childhood or to some place in your past. It's very, very focused. It's like focused energy. The fingerprints too. Like, so that's one kind of avenue that Spirit wants to show me. The other avenue is the fingerprints. Obviously, they say that fingerprints are like snowflakes. Everyone has unique fingerprints. There's no two people that have the same. But it's also, Spirit's showing me the Buddha. So the thing about the Buddha is that supposedly the Buddha had perfectly circular fingerprints. All 10 of his fingers had perfect circles on his fingertips. Why that's relevant, I don't know. Maybe you've just visited a country where you saw a big Buddha statue. Maybe you're Buddhist. Take this as it resonates. But it's this sense of uniqueness that is the takeaway. That there's nobody in the world like you. There's nobody that's going to make the impression or leave the legacy on the world quite the way that you do. So there's something, maybe you're thinking about these themes right now and asking yourself, where have I channeled my energy thus far? Where have I channeled my focus? What am I going to channel my focus on moving forward? It's clarified by the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is the Queen of Wands in the upright. Remember, I was saying there's so much sun energy in here, it's ridiculous in your reading. Sun energy again, right? You can see this beautiful progression and projection, sense of alignment. The Queen of Wands talks about a person who is really beautiful or handsome, or however you ascribe beauty in a superficial way, but they radiate confidence. They're attractive. They're passionate. That's Queen of Wands. It's fire energy. And in the past, you got this in reverse. You could have been feeling a lot of doubt about what it is that you focused on, about the legacy the legacy that's been set forth by your ancestors, but the legacy that you want to leave behind. That scene from Swan's Way is one of the most famous in all of literature. Like, you don't have to read the rest of Swan's Way to know the passage about the Madeline, if you're like into books like I am. You don't have to be into books, you can just know the story. Now I've told you the story of the Madeline, so now you know. It was such a beautiful description. It's the description of a cookie that made him famous as an author. But it's the legacy he leaves, right? So you're looking at in the past, you've been looking at the legacy that you've left so far. So it's like, this was your mark making. You've made your mark on all these things, continuing to make your mark. Really beautiful energy for the present. Tremendous energy. 2 major arcana. Number 19, the Sun. Literally the Sun, the best card in the tarot. Abundance, illumination, life-giving energy, warmth, vitality. Notice how the sun here, it's not so bright as to be overpowering. It's not blinding us. We see things clearly. Things are fully, they've shown themselves. It's clarified by number 12, major arcana, Virgo energy, the hanged one, or the hanged man. This is the card in reverse, which is interesting because we see the landscape at the bottom. This is the card in the upright. So immediately I'm seeing this snake energy. 2025, which is fast approaching at the time that I'm reading this message, is the year of the snake. There's something that you plan on doing in the year of the snake that is really going to make an impact, but also cause you to get some much needed perspective. Like before you, like I feel like you're going to be making a very big move, but before you make that move, you're going to take a really big step back, like way back from the situation, just to make sure that you're seeing things as clearly as possible. It's really important at this time to not be impulsive, because Spirit will show you everything you need to see. Just want to point out this desert landscape here. And look, you see these circles? Like a fingerprint? Some of it is blighted out here. It's the only card you have where sun energy gives way to this cool moon energy or ocean energy. This is the only card where it does that. The one where you have to take deep perspective on something. So it's almost like you're really trying to find your unique and sacred path. Allow things to become clear by going into that perspective. Like, the more you, maybe it has to do with this first breath as well. I'm going to put it like this. At least the Tauruses that I know personally. The Tauruses that I know personally, they know a lot. They're very smart. They're very resourceful. Some of the most resourceful people. But it's like they think they have it all figured out. I mean, I'm the same way, so I'm not trying to call you out here. Spirit is simply saying, allow yourself to be like a child. Have a sense of wonder about the world at this time, as opposed to a sense of cynicism or, yeah, cynicism. Like, don't look at the world like an 85-year-old would look back on their life and, you know, I've learned all these things and whatever. I mean, that may be true. You might have learned a lot. But Spirit is asking you specifically at this time to be open-minded. There are some things you don't know, Taurus, and they need to be illuminated for you. It's not that, I'm not saying it in the sense of like, you need to learn some lessons. It's not like that. I don't feel like it's like that. It's just, there are just some things you just don't know yet. But you're not going to know them if you assume that you know everything already. Does that make sense? Be open-minded. Be vulnerable. Be like a child in a sense of wonderment. That feels very important. Because it's almost like if you assume you know everything already, you might close yourself off to something good, like a good opportunity. Clarified by number 11, Justice. Another major arcana. As 3 major arcanas in your present tense. Your spirit guides are with you. Your ancestors are with you. Things are coming into balance. Allow them to. Allow the energies to unfold as they will. The Spirit's just saying, stop trying to control the situation. Stop trying to control everything. That's what I hear. In your future potential, beautiful energies. Double 10, 10-10. Not a coincidence. You might see 10-10 on a clock, on a license plate, on a receipt. The past 2 days, 2 different transactions, I got 1111 as a total. 2 different transactions. It was crazy. As this still makes me excited. No matter how many times I see synchronicities, I always get excited. Thank you, Spirit. Keep showing them to me. They're showing them to you right now. 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, number 10 of the Major Arcana, 10 of Wands, fire energy. Ten of Wands talks about burden. But when the card is in the upright, it's like we're just about to cast off that burden. We've been carrying it for a while. See, even her stance here, it's like she's about to pitch it. She's about to just cast it off. When we're at the 10, we're like completing a cycle. The Wheel of Fortune corresponds to the planet Jupiter, all about expansion. Good luck, good fortune, divine timing. Just in time, you're casting off your past. And you're making room for what may have seemed strange and impossible. And here, right? It's like the sun coming up over the horizon, right? And now it's like, here it's like fully in the sky. And there's just so much alignment for you. Things are falling into place. Be open, be open, be open. Ace of Swords. Look at this. Like the mind space is open and where all this bloom is coming out. Aces bring new from spirit. Ace of Swords is all about the mind. It's all about air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Information coming in, be open to it. I'm going to get a card of advice from your ancestors, from spirit. What I was talking about, synchronicities, right? Just now I was talking about it. 21, 21. Spirit doesn't make mistakes when I read. When I pull cards, there are no mistakes. Clean it up. Clean it up. I'm going to read from the book, number 21. Clean it up. Getting to the core of a situation. Freedom from a burden. Freedom from a burden. Cleaning house. Sweeping away what is no longer needed. Didn't we just talk about that? Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to unnecessary feelings of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. That's your reading, Taurus. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Taurus.